Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I think Mohammed has done me quite a hearty introduction, and I'd like just to keep us moving as we prepare for our first speaker, who is delivering our keynote today, Phyllis Migwi, the country manager for Microsft. Recently, we have seen Microsft in the news as the big tech companies come into East Africa and Kenya and playing their role in sort of shaking up the pay grade for developers and other technology experts within our industry. And that change, I think, has sparked a lot of debate as the resources are now shifting and we are seeing a more equitable distribution of pay as we have seen within Silicon Valley. Phyllis, welcome on board. Phyllis, as the country manager for Microsft, has over 2 decades experience working within the ICT industry. Most recently, before Microsft, she worked under IBM for about 12 years. Phyllis, welcome. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Michael. Just to confirm, you can hear me clearly?
Yes, loud and clear.
I was listening to the introduction, Michael, and I'm wondering, maybe I should have read up on the other speakers. If I'm coming after you, that's quite the task. Well, allow me to share my screen. Just give me a second for this technical bit, and then we can get started. Everyone, I'm really excited to be part of today's session and to just have this conversation. As Michael shared, I've been in the industry now about almost 20 years, the last 12 years with IBM and now with Microsft. In my time in the ICT industries, specifically the time spent in Kenya and East Africa, the industry I have seen transform the most and a lot faster than other industries is the banking sector. So really excited to be having the conversation and to just go through what are the challenges, the opportunities and the challenges that we see. So I'll get started. I think enough of an introduction has been done about me. To get us started, sorry, my slides are not quite moving, okay. To get us started, I'll just take us back to a view of our current scenario. So we're all in this space where we've come out of having to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic. For many industries, this was a catalyst for change, and there was a significant shift in business priorities during this period. The one thing I'd like to say to customers I meet, and even internally to my teams, is what we saw happen during COVID-19 wasn't necessarily a conversation that was starting for the first time. It was literally things that had, for most organizations, already been in place as conversations that now then got accelerated during COVID-19. So we see organizations that had already kicked off the discussion and started the process we saw them moving a lot faster into that transformation, and we saw others literally leapfrogging just because of what the strategies they already had in place. To the specific priorities so changed during that period were around 5 areas. It was customer engagement, organizational productivity, value creation, risk management, and security and compliance. And if I just dive into about 3 of them, starting with customer engagement. Customer engagement seems like the most obvious because we needed to find a way to continue engaging with our customers, and it forced organizations, banks specifically, to leverage digital engagement channels more than they had before. This rise in adoption of digital banking products during the pandemic has driven significant digital transformation, with recent reports showing that about 80 to 90% of the banks that started engaging digitally are going to continue doing so, even as we move out of what was known as the COVID-19 restriction. As we get into more flexible work, as we get into more flexible engagement, yes, the branches are open, but we're seeing a lot more of that engagement continuing within the digital space, even looking at new models of actually delivering services. The other thing that I would want to drill down on is the risk management, because this is a big conversation for all of us. And what we're seeing specifically around this area is that banks are now looking at how do they leverage data a lot more. And for this space, one of the things that we're hearing from our banking clients is that they want continuous monitoring. They want to be able to leverage the amount of data they have to drive the need for agility and to access and the ability to access cutting edge technology to now take the data they have to drive insights. I called out security and compliance for a specific reason. In this market specifically, I think we have a lot of conversations that end up on social media where customers are complaining about access to services, whether it's a situation where there's fraud. So there's now, as we engage more within the digital platforms, we're experiencing a level of regulatory scrutiny that is higher than has been there before. And institutions are looking at how do they manage both the regulatory environment and the compliance data required in that space, but also how do they manage the customer engagement and making sure that customers actually feel safe to continue to engage with them. And when I say customers, I'd say it's external and internal customers, because internally, your employees are asking you for the same thing, even as we drive operational efficiency. So the next area, the next thing I want to share is, and I said we're hearing a lot in terms of feedback from the banks on the new approach of doing business and what they're looking for within that new approach. And some of what we're hearing is one of the things that keeps coming up is stability and resiliency. What we're hearing is that the banking community is prioritizing cloud services to drive digital transformation because of the ability to speed up deployment, lower complexity, and manage upfront investment. I think everyone who's attending this service will know the changes that we've seen with customer expectation. We no longer have the luxury of deploying services for our customers at the same rate that we were doing before. So moving to the cloud has been the way to transform the entire process to be able to deliver at the speed that the customers want. And as we continue to, again, improve the customer experience, we are driving higher loyalty within both the bank ecosystem, but also specific service segments that banks have been looking to engage with. So we're looking at a data-driven transformation, and what we're hearing again from our customer is that this has yielded significant benefits for them. The data-driven transformation is igniting growth by producing insights that help create innovative new products. It's also leading to entirely new business models. I'll give an example. Yesterday, I was seated with a customer, and they walked us through what it has meant for them to embrace digital transformation, embrace technology, and how that has changed not just how they're going out to customers, but also how they've structured the organization internally so that they can leverage the investment that they've made in technology and be able to be able to go to market a lot faster. So here we're showing numbers based on research that has been done or at a global level, but we are also hearing the same conversation in our market. And another very interesting fact, as we have the conversations within the East Africa ecosystem, is now hearing from financial institutions, from banks, from fintechs, that they're able to even craft new pricing models based on the data insights that they're getting. So the data has actually now become the strategic differentiator and the opportunity for revenue growth for many of the banks in this industry. So I wanted to share a quote from our CEO, Satya Nadella. And Satya likes to say the key challenge or the key opportunity for any organization is to be able to convert data into intelligent actions. Microsoft believes in a differentiated view of data. Not only do you need data, but you need to be able to convert it into intelligent action. Data, if you look at the current digital transformation conversations that are happening, again, customer engagement, value creation, risk management, security, data is the connective tissue across all areas of the business. We are seeing a move from seeing what happened. So what the transaction that maybe happened with a client or the interaction that happened with a client, to now starting to look at why did it happen and what can we do to make sure we're actually connecting with that customer correctly. We've moved from just knowing that we have a customer and this is the service they buy, to understanding why they buy that service, how they interact with that service, how often they interact with that service, and what interventions we can take at what stage of their interactions with the bank. So the insights from data are very meaningful when we can turn them into intelligent action. And this requires not just the collection of data, but a transformation across the organization to embrace core digital technologies in all areas of the bank. So what does it take to become a data-driven bank? In order to transform, a data-driven culture needs to be established, both top, down, and bottom up. Bottom up is a conversation that is currently ongoing in the Kenya ecosystem. So I know it's it's now become familiar and a well understood term. The highest level of the company needs to promote organizational change with a vision for long-term data journey. So the reason we're calling that out is what we're seeing for the organizations that are really adopting this cultural transformation is we need to have the conversation all the way up to the board level to actually connect with what are their priorities, what are they looking at in terms of sustainable organizational growth and revenues. Then we need to also be engaging with the teams, which is the bottom-up approach, with teams that would be hands-on on the solutions to understand their pain points and then build or make investments that cover those gaps. So the data culture needs to be built on a foundation of a data-first culture that cuts across the whole organization. In banking, this means helping customers digitally access content. And again, when I say customers, I mean external and internal customers, because to enable transactions and implementation of data management systems so that employees can spend more time making sure they're driving the right kind of customer engagement, deeper relationships with their existing customers, instead of going out, spending time looking for information or processing customer data. And in the chart that I'm showing now, on the left, we look at the key drivers. So there's making sure that the AI ethics are enshrined. And I did want to call out that one specifically because it looks at how do we make sure that we communicate jointly as partners that we will maintain privacy and security of the data that we're getting. So if we're going to have a data culture, that is one of the things that is being asked for. This is key, especially in the banking industry, because this is one of the ways you build trust with customers and with employees. So as Microsoft, we can share our ethics framework, and we are helping customers to also define their ethics framework that is then adopted widely in their organizations. So the story that I'm sharing today is actually a story that is tried and tested. Microsoft has a lot to offer financial service organizations. We have a deep industry expertise, and I've worked with banks across across the time we've done business within the African continent, within the MEA region. We have deep industry experience and credibility. Today, we have over 1.5 active financial services users, seven of which are the top 10 global banks. And we have over 7,000 financial institutions that are leveraging Microsoft's technology to differentiate themselves. We do tens of billions of dollars in business within this sector. There's a few examples of business outcomes that have been realized by our customers. And the slide that I'm showing is the areas that we have had impact. So I'll call out a few. If you can see the second one on, I believe it will be your right. Banco Pan, 22% decreased service time. That is a significant improvement in service time, and that will have implications again on what I said, customer engagement. It will have implications on customer loyalty to the bank and to certain services provided by the bank. We also have outcomes around increased a reduction in loan transaction times. If again you think about this market, what are the services that your clients are coming to you for? We've had significant conversations within this ecosystem around loans and why people engage with certain organizations to get loans as opposed to others. So just moving forward, all the areas that I've talked so far are powered by business applications. And the business application market has successfully been disrupted I'd say over the last 50 years. Today, an even more disruptive force is a shift to how we take the applications themselves and the processes that they support, and make sure that these are leveraging technology in a different manner. The notion of business applications has been inverted, transitioning from applications fast, record-keeping systems, to data-fast predictive systems that start from the tidal wave of data flowing from everything. The new applications are predictive. The new applications are predictive, and they can learn and goal seek to business outcomes through automated processes and applications that then arm employees with the insights to act with purpose and in targeted and consistent way across all the channels that would be applicable to a bank. Within Microsoft, we believe we have a strong position given the breadth and depth of our expertise, as I said before, and our assets to lead in this next generation of business applications. We've assembled the industry's only complete cloud built for the predictive era with an application family across Office, Dynamics, LinkedIn, many of which you already use, that is delivering on the predictive opportunity for you. This is built atop a platform that permits adaptability without limits via the agile, low-code, cost-effective application and automation capabilities of the Power Platform, backed by full power of our Azure application platform, again, which many of you would already know about. What I'm sharing on the screen, you'll see within the Microsoft Cloud all the areas that are covered and all the services that you'll be able to access. Security is a key underpinning of the Microsoft Cloud, and we make the cloud is designed to ensure that compliance is delivered at a global scale. The Microsoft Cloud also comprises products that are industry leaders on their own. So in our interactions with different clients in the banking industry, and you'll notice in the slide that I'm sharing that we've designed our cloud so that it would cater for different industries. So we have Microsoft Cloud for financial services, where we then take the insights from industry leaders and incorporate that to deliver what the cloud, the financial services industry would actually require. Together, this enables a robust set of customer solution areas from application infrastructure, data and AI, developer tools and services, security, compliance, as I mentioned, identity and management, and productivity and collaboration, as well as empowering your business processes. To close off, I'll restate our Microsoft missions. Our mission, and we're speaking about this very boldly in all platforms is to empower every person and every organization on their planet to achieve more. To realize their greatest potential, every organization needs the right technology. Technology will help us better understand and minimize our impact on the planet, and technology will enable every organization to lead through disruption, thinking sustainably and embracing change as an opportunity for growth. Together, we have an opportunity. Together, we have an opportunity to shape the world to be so that we are more sustainable, more equitable, more inclusive. Digital acceleration will be the fuel that helps us to get there, but we must look forward with optimism, hope, and a renewed sense of purpose. For Microsft, again, our purpose is clear. In every industry, in every country, we are committed to empowering every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. And I think I'll close there. Thank you so much for the opportunity to spend this time with you.
Thank you, Phyllis. That was quite insightful. I was really like the point of how organizations now need to start converting data into intelligent action. I think that's really is the future. Also, I really enjoyed seeing the changes that Microsoft has brought on in terms of just the difference they're making within the organizations. There is just one question that I've seen posted. In terms of just achieving this level of maturity that for some of the companies that you've shared their successes, does Microsoft have sort of like a track that companies can walk, or is it just unique to each organization?
So as an organization, again, I did say that we engage a lot with industry experts. So we do have what we would call best practices, what has been benchmarked for particular kinds of clients. So in the financial industry, are you a bank? Are you a fintech? Are you insurance? But having said that, we have that framework, but we also need to really consider the specifics of every organization. And I say that because even if we just take just banking as an example. One, we know there's a lot of banks now that have both the retail banking, corporate banking, and then you have a fintech app. So a bank that cuts across all three will have a slightly different journey than a bank that is purely focused on fintech. Or rather a bank that is purely focused on corporate. So we would come in, assess the requirements of the particular client, share what we have seen as best practices, which is why I was sharing those examples also, and outcomes that we have seen elsewhere, and then walk the journey together. So build the specific journey based on the outcomes that the particular bank is looking to achieve.
Thank you very much, Phyllis. Thank you for your keynote.
Thank you so much.